Alrighty, so the new characters coming to the game, the kit reveals were put over 2 separate posts. So we had, like, what, 5 in the first post, and I assumed maybe there'd be just as many in the second post. Turns out this post is actually only this new Darkside K2SO. It's just a really huge kit reveal. So, in a way, that's good. This is kind of like a classic kit reveal. How it's just focused on one character, and maybe I can look at the comments too, since it's relevant to one character. But anyways, just as a little side note, I did want to say this too, because it says, because apparently our forums have a 60,000 character limit, so apparently the first post is 60,000 characters or so, and so they couldn't add this one because it goes over that. But when you think about it, 60,000 characters, I mean, that sounds like a lot, but at the same time it doesn't, because a character is everything. That's a space, that's a comma, that's a, you know, all of that. So I'm like, that's a big article that they had on the other one. That's only 60,000? I don't know. Seems like it's gonna be way more than that, but apparently not. Anyways, so Darkside K2SO is just KX Droid. And so let's get it. Andor introduced KX Droids as a stoic and obedient enforcement machines, which have the potential to do great damage while shielding their allies. This version of KX draws additional inspiration from the Jedi Survivor series, Jedi Survivor games, which is one reason why he carries the Electro Riot Baton. He is the missing piece of the ISB squad, granting them a stout tank who can survive against attacking enemies, deal damage, and enable Imperial probe droid to use its self-destruct more often. Okay, so what was the squad? Oh yeah, I think because they said only 4 of them, and I was like, well, who's the 5th supposed to be? So it's this guy, he's the 5th. I don't remember, I think it's Director Krennic, ISB, then you have Major Partagas, and I forget what the girl was called, but that was the 4, and I was like, what's the 5th supposed to be? Just anybody, I guess, or... But here it is, I guess. It's this Darkside K2SO is supposed to be the 5th. You know, I'm looking at his backpack. He's got like a thing that connects down his arm. Is it connected to his baton? Or it doesn't look like it is, though. Anyways, basic. Baton deployed. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and gain a stack of overcharge, max 5, and recover 20% health and protection per stack of overcharge. During his turn, if he has 5 stacks of overcharge, shock the enemy for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, and remove all overcharge stacks. Huh, that's weird. So to start, this is actually pretty solid for like a basic. You gain a stack of overcharge, and then you recover 20% health and protection. That's a lot. Like if he had 4 stacks, he's recovering 80% health and protection. That's pretty crazy. But then it says if he has 5, you shock the enemy and then you dispel all your stacks of overcharge. I don't feel like the trade-off of having massive healing is worth worth a shock. Like, that seems kind of lame. Anyways, design notes. Overcharge stacks are an important part of KX's toolkit, as they perform the job of increasing KX's health protection, hence increasing his survivability. I feel like that should be in brackets, not commas. And at rank 2, granting true damage. His ability controlled operation, there should be a comma before that, grants him benefits, which can grant overcharge stacks quicker and gain bonus max health on gaining max stacks. So they're talking about an ability that we haven't read yet. I hate when they do that, go into the future. Like, relax, we didn't see that yet. Don't tell us about something we don't know anything about yet. That's stupid, you know what I mean? That makes no sense. It's like a movie telling you the ending, but it's not like one of those movies that jumps back and forth. It's just telling you the ending for no reason. Then you're like, alright, cool. At least I don't know anything in the middle that leads me to this ending. Thanks, movie. Anyways, inspiration. This ability is inspired by the KX's baton attacks in Jedi Survivor games, and the overage stacks are inspired by K405's red glowing attack. KX's baton charges up with each attack and then shocks the enemy when charged. Synergies. Major Partagas and other ISB allies trigger out-of-turn attacks, which makes gaining overcharge stacks easier and increases the chance of shocking enemies. Facts. Well, these are not actually facts, but sure. Why does the ability restrict the shocking of the enemy to KX's turn? Out of turn attacks use the character's basic. Since the ability to shock will consume all of the overcharge stacks, we wanted to make sure it was a conscious player button press, and not something that happened during an assist you didn't have control over. I mean, technically, if you're on full auto, you don't really have control over what happens either, so there's that. Also, what's up with the slacking? Why are these bullets? Usually it says question, and then it says answer or something, not just 2 dots. Please do not resist. It's kind of funny that even when he's the dark side, he's still kind of polite. Like, K2SO is like this as well. So he gets like this big plow-looking thing, and then boom, slams it right at you, and kills the little B1 style droid, but the Imperial probe droid does just fine. Cooldown 4. Final text. KX security droid gains offense equal to 200% of his defense for 1 turn. So he gains a whole bunch of defense for 1 turn. Okay, it's kind of weird, but sure. Deal physical damage to all enemies, and KX gains defense up and taunts for 2 turns. Okay, I mean, isn't defense up part of the 200% that he's gaining? If all allies are ISB, also gain alert and protection up 100% for 2 turns. Other ally ISB droids take 5% max health damage that ignores protection. Well, that's weird. Why? Other ally ISB droids take 5% max health damage. Why? What's the point of that? I mean, I guess in this case it would only be Imperial probe droid, right? Everyone else would be a person? Yeah, Krennic, Partagas, and that woman, whatever her name is, I forget now. If KX security droid is rank 2 or above, call him to assist. So he calls himself to assist? What? If he is rank 3, stagger the target enemy for 1 turn. What does that mean? If rank 2 or above, call him to assist? So he calls himself to assist, so he does his physical damage and then he goes again? What? I'm confused about this. So let's see if there's any hints here. Design notes. This ability increases KX's offense and damages all enemies and aims to invite aggression towards KX, especially when he is undermined. The taunt and other defensive buffs are meant to increase his survivability, and the rank-specific abilities like assists and stagger will cause more damage to targets. In Territory Wars, this ability enables IPD's self-destruct, which in turn resets the cooldown of the ability, increasing its spam ability. So Territory Wars is because that's where Imperial probe droid's Omicron is active. And somehow this triggers it. I don't know his move off the top of my head well enough to understand why this would trigger that, but okay. Inspiration. It must be something with the health? Is that what can trigger it? I don't know. Anyways, inspiration. This ability is inspired by the menacing barrier kick performed by a KX Enforcer droid. I don't know if that's supposed to be one word or if they screwed up again. Against protesters and Gorman Plaza. Synergies. This ability does max health damage to Imperial probe droid, which enables it to trigger its special ability self-destruct quicker. Oh, that is what I just said. Okay, so I guess that's good, because then self-destruct does, what, 400% damage? And normally he would die, but then I think with his Omicron, with some other conditions active, he's able to keep reviving. Facts. When does the offense gain from this go away? The bonus offense KX gains remains till the next turn starts. Okay, so basically only assists really get an offense boost to them. It's kind of lame. What other ISB droids are there? The other ally ISB droids part of this ability is meant to specifically target Imperial probe droid, which is kind of lame because I don't know why you don't just say that. I mean, I guess they don't say it because they might plan on adding more ISB droids in the future, so they're just leaving it open, like, well, just in case. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, that's your whole point. You're trying to do this to trigger his self-destruct, so why beat around the bush and try to be fancy for? Just say Imperial probe droid. Unique 1, controlled operation. This has a Zeta and an Omicron. At the start of battle, KX security droid gains 15% max health for each ISB ally. Whenever KX security droid gains 5 stacks of overcharge, he gains max health, 10% stacking. Okay. So I guess that's another thing that happens then. He will lose it for shock, but at least he gains max health. 10%, whenever he gains... So he needs to have the 5 stacks first, though, in order to get that boost to his max health. So there's that slight trade-off there. If KX attacks a target-locked enemy, expose them for 2 turns. If KX is critically hit, he gains a stack of overcharge and inflicts defense down on the attacking enemy for 2 turns. Whenever an ISB droid droid ally is defeated, KX gains Frenzy for 2 turns and a stack of Endure for the rest of the encounter. So, if Imperial Probe Droid self-destructs, technically that would count as being defeated, right? And then it revives, though, because it has that ability to do so under certain conditions. Anyhow, would KX still get these bonuses because technically the character died, or does he not? Because they didn't really die, they sort of died, you know what I mean? Because it came back, Imperial Probe Droid came back, so it's not really dead. So would that still stay? Whenever an undermined ally is damaged, taunt for 1 turn. And whenever KX is undermined, he gains protection up 25% stacking for the rest of the encounter. I feel like this taunt is sort of similar to K2SO, because K2SO, he taunts... I mean, he taunts all the time, right? I can't remember what it is, but I feel like he taunts non-stop. Like, if Cassian's around, doesn't he taunt? And then he taunts, like, with one of his moves, and he's constantly taunting. It sounds like this guy could constantly be taunting, too, because, like, if, say, your whole team is undermined, well, whenever they're damaged, he's going to be taunting. So... Anyways, now the Omicron is Territory Wars, which means it plays in to work at the same time as Imperial Probe Droid's Omicron. It says, and if all allies are ISB. At the start of battle, KX gains Retribution for 1 turn, taunts for 3 turns, and he has immunity to Daze, and all allies have plus 50% max health and max protection until the end of the battle. Whenever KX gains rank 3, he can no longer lose rank. Well, that's good. That's pretty cool, because the other characters can fluctuate, but his will stay, so that's good. Whenever KX attacks on a turn, he gains 1% max health stacking until the end of the battle, and all allies gain 5% turn meter. Whenever an ISB ally uses a special ability, KX assists. So again, does that mean, like, whenever Imperial Probe Droid blows itself up, technically that's a special ability, so, like, KX would assist on that? It's kind of silly. Whenever KX uses his ability, Please Do Not Resist, and has more than 3 stacks of overcharge, he gains Foresight for a turn. The fuck? He has 5 stacks, pretty sure that's supposed to be if, of overcharge, also blind all enemies for 1 turn. Whenever Imperial Probe Droid uses self-destruct, all allies gain Endure for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled, and they recover 100% protection. And the cooldown of KX's ability, Please Do Not Resist, is reset. Which isn't the whole point of that move, to be able to allow Imperial Probe Droid to use self-destruct, so then it just becomes like a constant back and forth, right? Then he blows up, then he can do Please Do Not Resist, then he blows up, then he can do that. And then that means everybody's constantly recovering 100% protection, and all that. It seems like, A, seems like a decent Omicron to begin with, but B, considering it has synergies with another Omicron, it kind of makes it a little bit better. That's good. Because there was somebody's Omicron that I read in one of these recent reveals that just seemed so disappointing. It was pretty lame. I don't remember who it was now, but it was like, that's an Omicron? That's just a Zeta, like, calm down. This is much better. This is an Omicron. Kind of sucks it's for Territory Wars, though. That's kind of the lamest spot to have it. But, you know, at least it's not bad for what it does. Design notes. This ability grants KX a lot of health, which is probably the most important stat in KX's kit, as it makes him tanky and increases his damage via his rank abilities. KX applies additional debuffs to targets if his allies like IPD and Krennic. Why does that look like that's spelled wrong? Yeah, he doesn't have a K at the end, does he? Have target locked them. And Deidre's Undermine, that's the woman I keep trying to think of, Deidre. Undermine applied to KX leads him to becoming a constantly taunting and assisting brute. The ability also buffs KX whenever IPD is defeated. In Territory Wars mode, KX can gain rank 3 early and retain it for the duration of the battle, making him an unstoppable force of offense. Inspiration. Controlled operation is imagined as KX's operating system, with directives to protect ISB allies, attack targeted enemies, and react when allies are harmed. Having a full ISB squad is great, as it increases KX's HP and increases the chance of triggering its benefits. Well, I'd hope you're using a full ISB team. Why would you not? That would be dumb. It's like all these other ones that have direct synergies with X, Y, or Z, and it's like, oh, if you're using a team of this, it's like, yeah, I'd hope you are. Like, oh, this character is a Jedi, and if you're using a full team of Jedi, they gain these bonuses. Well, I'd hope you're using all Jedi. Why would you put a Jedi with Sith, or with some other random faction? Same as this. Like, yeah, he should be with ISBs. It's probably, like, his only tag that he'll have. It's like, Dark Side, Tank, ISB. Like, Empire. Like, why would you put him with Empire, though, if that is one of his tags? Just put him with ISB. It's the only thing that makes sense. Especially when his whole entire kit is surrounded around that, you know what I mean? Anyways, facts. Does KX constantly gain protection up when he is undermining and taunting? No. Taunt is granted whenever an undermined ally is attacked, including himself if he is undermined. Meanwhile, the protection up is granted when KX becomes undermined. And then a dot for nothing. Man, CG is doing bad on their editing. A lot of these kit reveals have had tons of errors in them. Unique 2, Chain of Command. I feel like all of them have this thing, Chain of Command, all these new ISB characters. Anyway, at the start of battle, KX Security Droid gains rank 1. Whenever KX Security Droid attacks at a turn while taunting, he gains a rank. That's a weird way to get promoted. Whenever taunt is dispelled, KX Security Droid loses a rank. Wow, that's terrible. Well, I'm not taunting and I lost my rank. I feel like this can vary so much too. You know what I mean? Because he taunts if somebody who's undermined is gets attacked. So boom, now he's taunting. Now let's say somebody has like a dispel move, so now he loses that taunt. Then somebody who's undermined gets attacked, boom, he gets his taunt back. It's just constantly up and down, up and down, up and down. It's weird. Anyways, while KX is rank 2 or above, his basic ability deals 10% true damage based on his max health. And then while he is rank 3, he has a 100% counter chance. Yep, just like regular K2SO. K2SO has a 100% counter chance, right? Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Design notes. Since KX is supposed to tank the damage being dealt to his ISB squad, his chain of command emphasizes his taunt, juxtaposed with the assists, counters, and other out-of-turn attacks KX performs using his and his allies' abilities. Gaining high. What? I would assume that that's supposed to be a complete thought there, and they just stopped at gaining high. Maybe something like gaining his blah 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 blah, but none of it's there. This ability name is shared among all ISB allies. Each character's version of the ability defines their goals for reaching the next rank or getting demoted. Yeah, that's what I said. They all have that. Just like how all the Inquisitors have patience, or all the Galactic Legends have, what is it? Just the straight up Galactic Legend, which means they take reduced damage from percent health attacks and can't be instantly defeated and blah blah blah. So all the ISBs have Chain of Command. Anyways, facts. How does KX gain rank? Okay, that would be a really dumb question if that's real. It literally just told you. KX can only rank up if he's taunting and attacking out of turn at the same time. Question. If the taunt expires naturally from the duration, does KX lose rank? No, KX will not rank down unless taunt is dispelled. If it expires, KX retains his rank. Okay. I thought when I first read this that he would lose his rank if it was expired, but I guess not. It's only if dispelled. So that's good to know. Does the true damage apply to his special ability? No, the true damage applies only if he uses his basic, not his special ability. But remember that attacking on a turn via counter chance or assists use the character's basic ability, so there is plenty of opportunity to get that true damage in. Sure is. And I think that's it. And then there's just some comments. Let's see what people thought. Oh, there's only 11. Wow, that's actually not that much, considering that this has been up for almost a month now. Will we get a kit rework for Krennic? Well, yes, we did. And for Imperial Probe Droid. Oh, cool. Darkside K2SO. Is it called KX Security Droid or KX Enforcer Droid? Conflicting info between the two posts. Yeah, I don't know. And then I see them sometimes just saying KX. Like, that's his name. I don't know. Good question. Can we please get a Krennic kit rework to make him more formidable? I mean, heck, with his FDC, when his FDC came, I was so disappointed that it wasn't even good enough. Especially since he's a very mediocre tune. What is FDC? I mean, heck, when his FDC came? Okay. But anyways, he did get a rework, so don't worry about it. So, yes, you already got it. So, maybe don't write kits that real, like a graduate level thesis, and you won't hit the 60,000 character limit. I mean, they don't write, like, graduate level theses. First off, there's tons of typos and such in there. Second off, it doesn't sound overly intellectual. It's just, they do add a lot, though. They add the inspiration. They add the design notes. They add the fake fact in there. So that's all the things that are taking up tons of room. Make those separate posts. The fact, they used to have the facts as separate posts. Make that a separate post again. You know, make the developer's insights and kit reveal separate like they used to do. Then they can put all the design notes and inspiration in the developer's insights portion and then focus solely on a kit reveal. And also, don't put 95 posts, kit reveals all in one thread. You know, they want to put 6 kit reveals in one thread and then wonder why they're maxing out at the 60,000 character limit. Maybe if you did each character in its own thread like you used to do. Anyways, this is looking really great. Hoping for a much needed Krennic. Oh my god, yes, it happened. Don't worry, no Bix. Maybe. Just because he's not here now doesn't mean it'll be ever. See, this kit is great because the word undermine isn't in every bleep sentence. Yeah, that did get old when you're reading these kits and it's like undermine, 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 undermine. And then it starts to get confusing too because you're reading undermine so much that it's like, what are we even talking about now? I keep hearing undermine. I gotta remember what undermine means now in this context. If we're splitting kit reveals up going forward, can it be split more intuitively, i.e. Rebel kits in one post and ISB in another? Makes it easier to digest the kits and understand how they interact with each other. Yes, that's actually something I was thinking I meant to address myself, and I forgot. Like, that would make more sense. You know, this past kit reveal they did what? 3 of the Rebel fighters, then they put in 2 ISBs, and then they put in Cassian after that, and then they got this K2SO by himself. So it goes 3 Rebel fighters, 2 ISB, a Rebel fighter, and then an ISB. Like, what? Just put your 4 Rebel fighters together and your 1 ISB, your 3 ISBs together. That would have made way more sense than mixing them in like that. Then it gets confusing as you're reading through. Like, especially, like, at least for me, I split them up and make each kit reveal its own video. But if you're somebody just straight up reading this, and you're going through it, it probably gets confusing. You're like, wait, what am I reading now? What am I talking about now? Like, you're thinking about the last ones you just read, like Rebel Fighters. Now you're reading a ISB one, and you're getting confused. Like, wait, why is this good? And you're like, oh, wait, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's dumb how they did that. Anyways, is IPT Imperial Probe Droid? Imperial Probe Droid. I always feel like that doesn't come out right. Like, I just kind of slur it. Also getting a rework since massive damage is no longer that massive, and he can only revive in territory battles. Yes, he did get a rework. I thought the rework announcement was made at the same time as these kit reveals, but everybody's asking, oh, are they getting reworked? Are they getting reworked? Like, yes, they both did. I don't know. These weren't back-to-back? One of them is 20 days ago even. That's more recent. This is 21 days ago, and some people are asking, but then there's some that's 20 days ago, which means that was even more recently. Like, how do you not know about the rework? You do now, but at that time, I feel like they all launched at the same time. Like, were these people just dumb and not look? Oh, I can't go and take a look at the touch-up. Duh. But it's also suspicious because they're asking for the ones that... the 2 that we already know about. Because they get the ISB tag and stuff. Krennic and Imperial Probe Droid. So it's like, you seem to know. Like, why are you being dumb? I don't get it. Something's not lining up there. Something's missing. Anyways, regardless, there it is. Kit reveal for KX Droid, Dark Side, K2SO, which actually technically K2SO is supposed to be Dark Side because, he is a repurposed Empire droid. But anyways, yeah, there it is. He seems halfway decent. I don't know. You gotta see him actually in action to know what he's all about. But from what it says on paper, if you will, doesn't seem too bad. So anyways, that is all I got for now, and for this one. So, yeah, thanks for checking this out with me, and until next time, I said see ya.